Linda at Koetsiers, and as promised, here is your video for your do-it-yourself winter porch pot. Many of you are going to take our classes and we're not able to. Some of you have picked up a porch pot kit with a bundle and another bundle and a container, so you'll be all set. Something else you'll need is a good pair of clippers and eventually some water. So here we go. The first thing you're going to do is open up this mesh bag with your porch pot greens and get those out. And then in your other bundle, you'll also have a couple extra greens with a nice tall one. I have mine separate here. So once you have those out, I kind of separate them by kinds. There's a few different kinds of greens here. So we've got some fir, some white pine, and a couple different kinds of cedar. And then you have your big tall piece that I gave you. So once you have those separated, we'll get started. So you have your pot, it's filled with soil, and my soil is a little damp. If yours isn't, that's just fine. But we're gonna start with our tall piece. This I find is the easiest way. We're gonna put them somewhat in the middle, maybe a little bit toward the back. So now we kind of have the height of our container. And then what I do is just start putting in these other pieces. So you're gonna, the most important part is getting your greens. And some of these you can actually cut apart and use multiple pieces. So I'm cutting off these bottom branches, and then we can use those smaller pieces around the edge. All right, so then we'll take these pieces we cut off and we'll tuck these in the side. So we kind of have our height and our width, and the rest is just filling in. Separate your greens. All right, if you have extra little pieces, we can tuck those in. And I'm going pretty fast. If you need to take more time, go ahead and pause the video and catch up. I'm using pretty much everything, so anything I cut off I can use in the back where it's not so important. Here's another little piece. All right, then we're gonna start with some of our other cedar. Again, if there have a lot of bigger branches here, you can cut those off and use those in another spot. The cedar is nice over the edge to kind of fill out. So we'll tuck these in the back. We have more cedar. Everyone's greens will be a little different. You may or may not be able to cut them up as much as I am. But it's a really nice mix. Okay, we're going to use some white pine. Fill out the back a little bit. And depending on where you're putting your pot, if it's going to be seen only from the front, you can decorate accordingly. Or if it's going to be out somewhere where it's going to be seen all around, you'll want to make sure the back looks really nice. So we're going to just say this is only going to be seen from the front. All right, I have a lot of greens in this bundle. This one. Okay. All right, cut that one. Okay. And you can do this if you don't have a porch pot kit. If you've got containers that you used in the summer still with soil, great. Cut a few pine boughs from your pine trees, stick them in. Doesn't have to be as neat and organized as this. If you've got some pretty sticks in your yard, some red dogwood, some hydrangeas left from your bushes, super easy to do with stuff you have from home. This berry juniper is really pretty, but I'm gonna wait till the end to put that in just because it's so decorative. Okay, so here are your basic greens, and then we're gonna start with our sticks that we had. And in your kit, some of them may be too tall for your liking. You can go ahead and cut the bottoms out, and we're gonna stick those here. Again, some of your sticks too can be cut multiple times. You want to kind of spread these out, make it look somewhat natural. Okay, so we have our sticks, our white sticks. We're going to go next to our teasel. So this is teasel. You can find it anywhere along the side of the road. And we just took some red spray paint and sprayed these red. Red seems to be a really popular color always for the holidays. It shows up nicely too. So we're going to tuck those in. And I'm not liking seeing all these sticks here, but I do have a little cedar left. So I'm going to tuck that in there to hide that a little bit. Let's see. Tuck that one there. Okay, how are we looking? Pretty good. All right, next we have our pine cones, and we also have a bow. This is just a 3-loop bow. It's really easy to make, and I wired it to a stick. Sometimes it's easier to put your bow in first, and this is too long. So we're gonna put the bow in first, and this I have to do with my hands. So I'm gonna fluff him out a little bit, and then it's easier to put your pine cones in where you'd like them. And these are going to be too long too. Okay. Usually the pine cones I like to tuck down in pretty tight and low, and they look pretty next to the bow. We're going to do 2 on the side. Okay. All right, but remember we have our berry juniper yet, so we're going to use that. And I am going to tuck him right in here and kind of put our bow around it. Use it almost as part of the bow. Tuck him there. And we have tuck another piece there. All right. So we're done, okay? Not too hard. If you have any trouble, the most important part is to get your greens looking nice. Then the rest is super easy. So get your greens looking nice, and then just put your decorative things in. And an important thing to do is water the soil. Get it nice and moist. That will keep your greens fresh. Once we have consistent freezing temperatures, you don't need to worry about it, and it'll look nice till probably spring. So hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have fun making your own winter porch pot.